Hello, it is me. It did say stream ending because I never changed it from the other day. Thank you. Um, I'm so tired. And I'm like, that's why I was like, maybe we'll just chat, play some games.
A hot, tall woman in there somewhere, and 30-year-old me was like,
Peter Terry's heroin dealer was a 7-foot-tall woman named Helga. You're like, oh, God. Thank God. There she is.
She was known for her dark
Helga.
lipstick and fishnets, and I just, like, 13-year-old me's like, yeah, brother.
Fishnets, a typo negative shirt. You're like, a tall glass of water, Helga.
Typo negative shirt.
All right, let's go.
We were friends in college and continued to be after I graduated. Notice that I said I. He dropped out after 2 years of barely cutting it. After I moved out of the dorms and into a small apartment, I didn't see Peter as much.
I feel like this has just been a very long week.
In pre-Facebook years. There was a period where he wasn't
Maybe
online
that's why
for
I'm so
about
like
5 weeks straight. I wasn't worried. He was a pretty notorious flake and drug addict, so I assumed he just stopped caring. Then, one night, I saw him log on. Before I could initiate a conversation, he sent me a message.
David, man, we need to talk.
That was when he told me about the No End House. It got that name because no one had ever reached the final exit. The rules were pretty simple and cliche.
The other day, yeah.
The final room of the building, and you
Wait.
$100. There were 9 rooms in all. The house was located outside the city.
Did I wear a wig the other day?
From my house.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
It would be too much for anyone. That it was unnatural.
The thing about the $500.
I had it on today, so I was confused.
Who has the $500?
As far as our writer knows, it's whoever's hosting this like haunted house thing. Think of it as McCamey Manor, but with less like domestic violence.
Right. Okay.
I didn't believe him. I told him I would check it out the next night, and no matter how hard he tried to convince me otherwise, $500 sounded too good to be true. I had to go. I set out the following night. When I arrived, I immediately noticed something strange.
Carrot.
Have you ever seen or read something that
seriously, these old ones, they do not beat around the bush at all. It's just like very quick setup and then just like get you into the actual like action of the story quickly.
Yeah. And I guess, for people just posting stuff online, that kind of makes sense,
I just think there has to be some kind of cultural significance to back then where it's just like people just wanted it to be short, sweet, and to the point versus now people want to like, almost have that Lovecraftian kind of dialect in there where it's like deeply explaining things or like, like building up this anticipation with like a lot of flavorful text and stuff. I think people, I think it started to sway where people wanted to gnaw on the bone a bit more.
I think too, like, back then there were so many different stories floating around, like, these message boards and creepypasta forums and stuff like that, that you needed to catch people quick, right? Because most people read a few paragraphs and be like, I'm bored, and then find something else. So you had to grab it quick. So, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The first area was almost laughable. The decor resembled the Halloween aisle of a Kmart, complete with sheep ghosts and animatronic zombies that gave a static growl when you passed by. At the far end was an exit. It was the only door besides the one I entered through. I brushed through the fake spider webs, headed for the second room. So that's room one. that paragraph is room one. How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's kind of interesting. I'm curious. You know, I definitely think that we're trying to be the skeptics along with the viewer at the moment.
I just put oil in my hair, so I don't really want this on my forehead, but also, I haven't had a middle part in so long, and this is how my this is how my hair still automatically parts.
Benato's Drive said, ads, couldn't see if my carrot cake dumb bit landed.
It did. I don't know why that made me laugh.
It's like something in him knew that this was where it actually begins, right?
Yeah, like an animal instinct or something.
Yeah, yeah.
just realized I didn't change the screen.
I wasn't even sure there was one this time. The silence was then broken.
There we go.
Brady, I am Buzz Lightyear. Roger then.
The next true Adam pass would reveal the door. After a few moments, a mosquito fly onto my arm. I shook it off and kept going. A second later, I felt about 10 more land all over my skin. I felt them crawl up and down my arms and legs, and a few made their way to my face.
Why is there so much gold?
Thanatos Drive said, I saw Obsession yesterday.
I haven't seen it. No spoilers.
Thanatos Drive said, needed a distraction. It was a pretty good distraction.
I'm so proud of myself. Let me have this, okay? Let me have my in your pocket. I couldn't speak. I
Ugh.
could barely even see. Spoke through my mind in a voice I won't attempt to describe. There was no other sound. The voice just kept repeating that sentence over and over in my mind, and I agreed. I didn't know what to do. I was slipping into madness, yet couldn't take my eyes off what was in front of me.
Thanatos
I
Drive
dropped to the floor.
said,
I thought I had passed
I
out,
thought she
but
paused
the room
stream,
wouldn't let
opened
me.
her mouth and was going
I
to
just
yell. I
wanted
said
it to
no
end.
spoilers.
I was on my
may
side,
just
my
be my
eyes
anxiety.
wide open, and the form
Thanatos
staring
Drive
down at me.
said,
Scurrying across the floor in
Turned
front of
out
me
to be a
was
yawn.
one of the battery-powered rats from the second room. The house was toying with me. For some reason, seeing that rat pulled my mind back from whatever depths it was headed. I looked around the room. I was getting out of there. I was determined to escape the house and live and never think about this place again. I knew this room was hell and I wasn't ready to take up a residency. The rat going across the floor is a really cool detail. I like that.
I do too. Well, even the idea too. I like the just endless mental torture. Very like of somebody repeating whatever and then like standing over you. I mean, like also the room physically not letting you be able to like slip into a unconscious state. Like they're making you endure all of this.
Yeah, like you have to be stuck with it, and then it literally taunts you by sending a little like toy rat out, you know?
Yeah.
That's fun. This is fun. I'm happy. I'm having a great time. At first, it was just my eyes that moved. I searched the walls for any kind of opening. The room wasn't that big, so it didn't take long to soak up the entire layer. The demon still taunted me, the voice growing louder as the form stayed rooted where it stood. I placed my hand on the floor, lifted myself up to all four, and turned to scan the wall behind me. Then I saw something I couldn't believe. The form was now right at my back, whispering into my mind about how I shouldn't have come. I felt its breath on the back of my neck, but I refused to turn around. A large rectangle was scratched into the wood, with a small dent chipped away in the center of it. Right in front of my eyes, I saw the large 7 I had mindlessly etched into the wall. I knew what it was. Room 7 was just beyond that wall, where room 5 was moments ago. That's hard. That's awesome. That's so dope. He went into a trance trying to claw his way through back to room 5, and in the trance he made door 7.
Very like very Mouth of Madness kind of vibes. You know what I mean? Like going completely. I love the I love the idea of not having control of your own mind, and then like snapping back to your own reality, and like him having etched out that 7 is just crazy. And then just knowing like, and then also to know too that you have to go through back where you just came from, and it's going to be different again.
Man,
it's like a weird labyrinth.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that this is cool. Like, not only
I love
for
how,
the
I
sake
love how
of
you're
young
giving
me.
yourself props just for being like, I like this story a long time ago.
Well, I am giving myself props, to be clear. But also, just like, I remember thinking like, oh, there were some really cool concepts in here. And yeah, I completely forgot about a lot of these details. But this is pretty cool so far. I like it. Like the 7 door being scratched open and the form and stuff like that. It's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
I'm having a great time. Okay. I don't know how I had done it. Maybe it was just my state of mind at the time, but I had created the door. I knew I had. In my madness, I had scratched into the wall when I needed the most. An exit to the next room. Room 7 was close. I knew the demon was right behind me, but for some...
What?
It's right behind me, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't bring that filth into this good story.
I know. If it gets worse after this, I did it. I knew the demon was right behind me, but for some reason, it couldn't touch me. I closed my eyes and placed both hands on the large 7 in front of me. I pushed as hard as I could. The demon was now screaming in my ear. It told me I was never leaving. It told me that this was the end, but I wasn't going to die. I was going to live there in room 6 with it. I wasn't. I pushed and screamed at the top of my lungs. I knew
Tim
I was
Curry?
going to push through the wall eventually. I clenched my eyes shut and screamed, and the demon was gone. I was left in silence. I turned around slowly and was greeted by the room as it was when I entered. Just a chair and a lamp. I couldn't believe it, but I didn't have time to waste. I turned back to the 7, jumped back slightly. What I saw was a door. It wasn't the one I had scratched in, but a regular door with a large 7 on it.
Do you think 6 is the way to get out is either like a faith-based system or like or perseverance or something?
Could be. Again, it depends if the room is personalized or if this is just the standard layout for it, right?
Sure.
But I suppose in either room 6 could be a test of faith, or it could just be some kind of structure with that goat thing in it, right? And there's different ways to get out.
Right.
You could probably look at each of the rooms as a test of something, right? Like a trust in your eyes, trust in senses, stuff like that. And this one is like a trust in faith. So this one, if the previous rooms were testing physical senses, this one almost tests like a sense of sanity a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. It's interesting. My whole body was shaking. It took me a while to turn the knob. I just stood there for a while, staring at the door. I couldn't stay in room 6. I couldn't. But if this was only room 6, I couldn't imagine what 7 had in store.
6,
I must have
7.
stood there for an hour, just staring at the 7. Finally, with a deep breath, I twisted the knob and opened the door to room 7. I stumbled through the door, mentally exhausted, physically weak. The door behind me closed, and I realized where I was. I was outside. Not outside like room 5, but actually outside. My eyes stung. I wanted to cry. Hold on. Kayla? I promise you, I heard it was plain as day. It was like knock, like steps. Oh my gosh, hold on, I just saw it under the door. I think it's my dog. It's not my dog, it's something with a wet nose. Benny, is that you?
Yes.
What would I expect the dog?
I was like, what the hell? You think he's gonna talk about? Yes. Don't worry, Isaiah. It's just me.
Shut up. Hold on, I'm gonna open the door.
Well, chat. This is where Wendigoon dies.
It was my dog headbutting the door. You wanna sit here for Creepcast for a minute? This is all your fault, stupid. Okay.
Yes.
I fell to my knees and tried, but I couldn't. I was finally out of that hell. I didn't even care about the prize that was promised. I turned and saw that the door I just went through was the entrance. Okay. I'm gonna put you down now. I walked to my car and drove home, thinking of how nice a shower sounded. As I pulled up to my house, I felt uneasy. The joy of leaving my main house had faded, and dread slowly built into my stomach. I shook it off as residual from the house and made my way to the front door. I entered and immediately went up to my room. There on my bed was my cat, Baskerville. He was the first living thing I had seen all night, and I reached to pet him. He hissed and swiped at my hand. I recoiled in shock, because he had never acted like that. I thought,
Whatever. He's an old cat.
I jumped in the shower and got ready for what I was expecting to be a sleepless night. After my shower, I went to the kitchen to make something to eat. I descended the stairs and turned into the family room. What I saw would be forever burned into my mind, however. My parents were lying on the ground, naked and covered in blood. They had been mutilated to near unidentifiable states. Their limbs had been removed and placed next to their bodies, and their heads sat on their chests, facing me. The most unsettling part were their expressions. They were smiling, so they were happy to see me. A lot of creepypastas do this. There's like memes in the community about like photorealistic blood, or like or like something will be mentioned as really gory without going into explicit detail. But the idea of like it's your parents' heads on their chest and they're smiling at you and there's blood everywhere, that's pretty intense, you know?
No, I think it's a fun visual. I think it's creepy as shit. I mean, like that. I think that's a fun thing. I definitely
Fun. That's what you would describe it as, fun.
Yeah, I think it is fun. A fun little spooky story. The only thing is, like, I felt like I just knew something coming, just because it's like he's obviously still in the house, right? You know what I mean? Which is fine, but yeah, I was like, I didn't know how they were gonna sway it back in there, but I like the mental torture of like now showing your family like basically ecstatic to see you after they've already been bludgeoned and butchered to death.
Yeah, it's almost like if the previous rooms preyed on your senses, which this one does too. I mean, you drive all the way home and you're still in the house, right? If the previous one played on your senses a lot, it's like this one is almost preying on like your emotions, right? Your connections, stuff like that.
Right.
It's which again, to some degree, then the house has to be personalized because at least it shows his parents, right?
Right.
So it has to know how to mess with it, play off his memories at least a little bit. I vomited and sobbed there in the family room. I didn't know what had happened. Didn't even live with me at the time. I was a mess. Then I saw it. A door that was never there before. Door with a large 8 sprawled on it in blood. I was still in the house. I was standing in my family room, but I was in room 7. The faces of my parents smiled wider as I realized this. They weren't my parents. They couldn't be, but they looked exactly like them. The door marked 8 was across the room, behind the mutilated bodies in front of me. I knew I had to move on, but at that moment, I gave up. The smiling faces tore into my mind. They grounded me where I stood. I vomited again, nearly collapsed. Then the hum returned. It was louder than ever. It filled the house and shook the walls. The hum compelled me forwards.
Interesting. He's kind of drawn by the hum now. You know what I mean? Like as before, he was running away from it, and now it's almost like he's it's intriguing enough to get him out of these like new nightmares that are happening.
It's like because when he goes into room 6, he hears the hum beyond the door, right? And then that's when he goes in the room with the girl and the goat thing.
I think that's the room 5 is like the hum with the phantom bugs, and then room 6 he goes in. Yeah. So
it's almost like the hum is like the house itself, kind of telling, pushing him certain directions, telling him where to go, stuff like that. It's like the true entity of whatever's doing all this.
I see. No, it makes sense. Yeah, we'll see.
I began to move slowly, making my way closer to the door and the bodies. I could barely stand, let alone walk, and the closer I got to my parents, the closer I came to unaliving.
Yay.
Yippee.
Everyone cheers in unison.
Yay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Are you saying that because I said unalive?
Yeah, or like everyone's cheering for the censoring that YouTube forces on us.
Yeah, it's very stupid. I like here it's okay because it's a fictional story. It's like whatever. It's annoying, but I hate having to do that with like real world stuff, right?
Well, yeah, because it's such a crazy and such a powerful and oh my god!
Don't you start.
As soon as we start talking about
Benny.
What?
You do not do this to me right now. He's got his ears pinned back. Kayla? Oh, thank God.
Is it her?
Yes, it's her. All right. Oh, you want to show the audience your star pillow? Oh, Hunter can't see. That's a very cute star pillow. It's adorable. Now that they're gone, we were talking about the whole unaliving thing. It's such an insane rule. Like, I get they don't like it if people are saying it like, oh, I hope you go do that, right? Or if they use it as an insult or stuff. But the fact that when talking about real world scenarios or like tragedies or whatever, they're like, no, you can't use that particular word for it. Like,
I think it downplays the action. I think it downplays the event and stuff like that, and I think it takes the win. Like, I don't know, it makes, I wouldn't say a mockery out of it, but it's at the same time, it's like, put respect on something that is so, I guess, real. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it can certainly make a mockery of people, I think, because like when you're talking about like, sadly, you know, this person was dealing with mental issues and then they self-unalived. It's like, what? You know?
Well, yeah, it's dancing around. It just feels like, regardless, I mean, I don't know. This probably isn't the best place to talk about these kind of issues or whatever. Yeah, I just, all I know is, sorry, we have to say if we don't say it for people who are wondering, we're just like, God, say it. If we say the actual word stuff, literally the video will get struck down.
No End House, Hunter, is the perfect place to talk about the severity of mental health. And it's the best place for it. Yeah, anyway, yeah. But what is cringe is YouTubers have an opinion on things. That is always the worst option.
Inevitably, that is the worst ever.
Anytime you, as a content creator or celebrity of any kind, feel the need to chime in about anything, that is the wrong feeling, and you shouldn't do that.
It's good to think it, but good God, I will always do it because as a beautiful influencer, I never know when to shut the hell up.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway. The walls were now shaking so hard it seemed as though they were going to crumble. Still, their faces smiled at me. As I inched closer, their eyes followed me. I was now between the two bodies, a few feet away from the door. The dismembered hands clawed their way across the carpet towards me, all while the faces continued to stare. Oh, that's awesome. That's dope. New terror washed over me, and I walked faster. I didn't want to hear them speak. I didn't want the voices to match those of my parents. They began to open their mouths and the hands were inches from my feet. In a dash of desperation, I lunged towards the door, threw it open, and slammed it behind me. Room 8. That's fun. That's cool. The bodies, the hands are crawling towards the carpet and they're trying to talk to you. That's awesome.
I wanted more.
I imagine like the smiles getting like, you know, uncanny wide, you know? Like bigger and bigger, and they're looking at him as the hands are going. That's so cool. That's fun. This is so fun. I have such a good time. It's doing great. I was done. After what I had just experienced, I knew there wasn't anything else this house could throw at me that I couldn't live through. There was nothing short of the fires of hell that I wasn't ready for. Unfortunately, I underestimated the abilities of No End House. Unfortunately, things got more distorting. I'm all screwed up from my wife and the dog and everything.
I have a horrible thing that we're gonna see like on camera aneurysm happen with Wendigoon here.
I'm just having a stroke.
You're just gonna jolt in your chair and then be like, "When again? Hello?"
Yeah. So what did we open this podcast with? The mutual promise to profit off the death of the other, right?
That's true.
And I'm holding up my end of the bargain, so I'd expect you to do the same.
I better.
If I die, my ghost better watch my body be paraded through the streets like Mardi Gras float, just thrown around. Yeah, that's what I want.
It's gonna be the most awkward funeral I'm ever gonna go to.
Yep, and it better be. I want to have like hydraulics in the coffin, so at the graveside I shoot up like a zombie.
Tell your wife this. Tell your wife this. I'm not gonna be in charge of your funeral.
Yes, you are. I put it in my will. You're Hunter.
Okay,
Hunter,
and then I'll say I'll politely decline. I'll politely decline.
That's not how it works. And then there's a stipulation that if Hunter politely declines, bury me at an unmarked location under his house.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take an even bigger cadaver. I'm going to put you in a coffin and I'll put the bigger the bigger cadaver on top of you, and I'm going to recreate the pen pal ending. And that's how I'm going to bury you.
Oh,
How would you like that?
I hate you. Oh, why would you say that?
I'm gonna
You're
do
a
that.
terrible person.
I know.
You
I
know
can't
that
wait.
ending freaks me out.
Yeah, I'm
That
it's
was a
gonna be
low
that forever
blow.
for you. Forever for you. Forever.
That was rude. That was mean. Say you're sorry.
I'm not gonna say fuck you. I'm not gonna say
Say you're sorry.
hell no. Hell no.
Okay, I'm changing my will that if Hunter does that to me, I'm putting a bomb somewhere in his house.
You have admitted to some crazy shit these past couple episodes. Good God. You're putting a bomb? Good God.
That's more reasonable than what I was talking about last episode. If you tie me to a random corpse and put me in the ground, yes, that is I'm putting a bomb in your house without hesitation.
Well, I'm gonna start learning bomb deactivation then immediately. I didn't know. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna start learning. What's going on, roommate? Okay, yeah. All right. I was thinking when he was giving that whole thing about like the only thing that I was ready for anything except the flames of hell, and I thought it was gonna be like roommate was the flames of hell.
Yeah, I opened the roommate door and there was hell. It was hot.
I said, well played, roommate, well played.
Roommate, I tip my cap very gingerly. Fair play.
I still have trouble believing what I saw in roommate. Again, the room was a carbon copy of rooms 3 and 6, but sitting in the usually empty chair was a man. After a few seconds of disbelief, my mind finally accepted the fact that the man sitting in the chair was me. Not someone who looked like me, it was David Williams. I walked closer. I had to get a better look, even though I was sure of it. He looked up at me and I noticed tears in his eyes.
Please don't do it. Please don't hurt me. What? Who are you? I'm not gonna hurt you. Yes, you are. You're going to hurt me, and I don't want you to.
He sat in the chair with his legs up and began rocking back and forth. It was actually pretty pathetic looking, especially since he was me, identical in every way. I'm sorry, it doesn't funny to you?
It's been pretty pathetic, actually. Good God. Look at you. Sitting in a gamer chair. Rocking back and forth.
That was literally me watching last week's episode of me high, just trauma dumping. I'm like, look at you.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Hung over off Fent, just rocking back and forth, trying not to flop. Listen, who are you?
I was now only a few feet from my doppelganger. It was the weirdest experience yet, standing there talking to myself. I wasn't scared. I would be soon.
Why are you? You're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt me. If you want to leave, you're going to hurt me. Why are you saying this? Just calm down, all right? Let's try to figure this.
And then I saw it. David sitting down was wearing the same clothes as me, except for a small red patch on his shirt embroidered with the number 9.
You're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt me. Don't, please. You're going to hurt me.
My eyes didn't leave the small number on his chest. I knew exactly what it was. The first few doors were plain and simple, but after a while they got a little more ambiguous. 7 was scratched into the wall, but by my own hands. 8 was marked in blood above the bodies of my parents. But 9, this number was on a person, a living person. Worse still, it was on a person that looked exactly like me.
David? Yes. You're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt me.
He continued to sob and rock. He answered to David. He was me, right down to the voice. But that 9. I paced around for a few minutes while he sobbed in his chair. The room had no door, and similarly to room 6, the door I came through was gone. For some reason, I assumed that scratching would get me nowhere this time. I studied the walls and floor around the chair, sticking my head underneath and seeing if anything was below. Unfortunately, there was. Below the chair was a knife. Attached was a tag that read,
To David, from management.
The feeling in my stomach as I read that tag was something sinister. I felt like throwing up. The last thing I wanted to do was remove that knife from under the chair. The other David was still sobbing uncontrollably. My mind was spinning into an attic of unanswerable questions. Who put this here, and how did they get my name? Not to mention the fact that as I knelt on the cold wood floor, I also sat in that chair, sobbing in protest of being hurt by myself. It was all too much to process. The house and the management had been playing with me this whole time. My thoughts, for some reason, turned to Peter and whether or not he got this far. If he did, if he met a Peter Terry sobbing in this very chair, rocking back and forth, I shook those thoughts out of my head. It didn't matter. I took the knife from under the chair, and immediately, the other David went quiet.
David, what do you think you're going to do?
I lifted myself from the ground and clenched the knife in my hand.
I'm gonna get out of here.
David was still sitting in the chair, though he was very calm now. He looked up at me with a slight grin. I couldn't tell if he was going to laugh or strangle me. Slowly, he got up from the chair and stood, facing me. It was uncanny. His height and even the way he stood matched mine. I felt the rubber hilt of the knife in my hand and gripped it tighter. I don't know what I was planning on doing with it, but I had a feeling I was going to need it.
Now,
His voice was slightly deeper than my own.
I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to keep you here.
I didn't respond. I just lunged and tackled him to the ground. I mounted him and looked down, knife poised and ready.
Mounted
He
him.
looked up at
Okay.
me, terrified. It was like I was looking in a mirror. Then the hum returned, low and distant, though I still felt it deep in my body. David looked up at me as I looked down at myself. The hum was getting louder, and I felt something inside me snap. With one motion, I slammed the knife into the patch on his chest and ripped down. Blackness fell on the room, and I was falling. The darkness around me was like nothing I had experienced up to that point. Room 4 was dark, but it didn't come close to what was completely engulfing me. I wasn't even sure if I was falling after a while. I felt weightless, covered in dark. Then a deep sadness came over me. I felt lost, depressed, and suicidal. The sight of my parents entered my mind. I knew it wasn't real, but I had seen it, and the mind has trouble differentiating between what is real and what isn't. The sadness only deepened. I was in room 9 for what seemed like days. The final room. And that's exactly what it was. The end. No end house had an end, and I had reached it. At that moment, I gave up. I knew I would be in that in-between state forever, accompanied by nothing but darkness. Not even the hum was there to keep me sane. I had lost all senses. I couldn't feel myself. I couldn't hear anything. Sight was completely useless here. I searched for a taste in my mouth and found nothing. I felt disembodied and completely lost. I knew where I was. This was hell. Room 9 was hell. And it happened. A light. One of those stereotypical lights at the end of the tunnel. I felt ground come up from below me, and I was standing. After a moment or two of gathering my thoughts and senses, I slowly walked toward that light. As I approached the light, it took form. It was a vertical slit down the side of an unmarked door. I slowly walked through that door and found myself back where I started, the lobby of No End House. It was exactly how I left it. Still empty, still decorated with childish Halloween decorations. After everything that had happened that night, I was still wary of where I was. After a few moments of normalcy, I looked around the place, trying to find anything different. On the desk was a plain white envelope with my name handwritten on it. Immensely curious, yet still cautious, I mustered up the courage to open the envelope. Inside was a letter, again handwritten.
David Williams, congratulations. You have made it to the end of No End House. Please accept this prize as a token of a great achievement. Yours forever, Management.
With the letter were 5 $100 bills. I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed for what seemed like hours. I laughed as I walked out to my car and laughed as I drove home. I laughed as I pulled into my driveway. I laughed as I opened my front door to my house and as I saw the small tin etched into the wood.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, let's go. It's still great. Awesome. I love it. Yay. It doesn't
It is
suck.
fun.
I
Thank
forgot
you.
what I was gonna do.
It was a nice, it definitely, like, and that is the end of part one. And I want to say this too, because I wouldn't say complaints, but we do get a lot of people talking about this. There's obviously a lot of sequels to the stuff that we talk about or read, but sometimes it's just nice because a lot of the times too, you guys have to understand that these additions happen years after the post and stuff. And I really think that, like, it's just nice reading these initial stories without any of the filtration of feedback or anything. This is like the purest form of the story that gets laid out. And obviously sometimes we probably will read sequels and stuff, but for this now there is no In-House 2 and 3, but I think just leaving it there is such a great ending. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Small tin etched into the wood is such a fucking great last line for this deal. And this story is it's aged. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
It's definitely a novice writing this, but it's such a fun story. The little things I kept noticing was like the amount of times that each paragraph ended with, "But I couldn't be more wrong," or "This something far
that
more."
happened a lot.
You know, those
There
kind
was
of
a
little
lot
tropes,
of
which is fine.
the Jeff the Killerism of "I had a feeling," you know.
Yeah, which is totally fine, especially when the idea is this, like, kind of fun. Which I didn't know if it was supposed to match the 9 Circles of Hell. I kept
I
thinking that.
didn't even think of that until you just said it. Huh.
I looked it up here, and I was trying to make some parallels here. Because
Yeah,
the nine
it's,
the nine lines of it was limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and treachery. And I was trying to tie those up with each room, trying to be like, okay, limbo being like the weird. I didn't know if it was supposed to be parallels, but you could find parallels with each of these rooms. Which limbo being Kmart, Walmart, where it's just kind of like, where am I? What is this place? Kind of thing, right? It's kind of like the in between your world and like the crazy hell you're getting ready to experience. Rule 2 was the battle decorations and lust and stuff. So I didn't know if that was supposed to be him.
Was there a mention of wind in the second room? Because
yes, because in this deal, it's a circle of wind. It's a circle storm, right? Remember the bat was going around the room.
That's true, yeah. And in the Divine Comedy, the Lust Layer, they're blown by great winds all the time.
Yeah, I was like looking it up, and it said that it's like in a circular storm or whatever, like circular wind.
Everyone's swept up into it, and they're thrown around and stuff like that.
Yeah. Gluttony was the shadows, and then you don't have a shadow, so something that's gluttony,
maybe.
like serving yourself. I don't know if there's really any kind of thing there besides the multiple shadows, but greed. Room 4 would be greed, which is darkness. The room that's the humming as well. This is where it gets a little more harder to. 5 is anger, but 5 is anger. But I thought that would correlate with the bugs, or something.
It could. So in the anger people are in like a giant river that's kind of like a bubbling tar. Almost.
Why?
Always
Fucking
waiting
companions
for it.
in my way.
So I don't know if that correlates. Maybe it could a little bit, you know?
I'm even just trying to think about like the people that go there, or just even like trying to even think on like base level things like anger or that thing. I'm just trying to like I don't know if it would be as particular, but still. 6 is the same as room 3, but no doors. That's one with the little girl. It's heresy.
Yeah. The heretics were pretty brutal. They were all like in these like stone coffins on fire constantly. It was pretty intense.
It's also our first which, you know, heretic going against God and stuff, and that's the first time where we see the sheep head with the mouth, with the wolf mouth.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
7 was where the family was murdered, and the 7th layer of hell is violence.
That lines up, you know, pretty obviously.
So then, one thing I thought was interesting was fraud. Is room 8.
And it's himself.
And it's him having to overcome himself or some kind of thing. And then room 9 is treachery, which is just the lake of ice where, you know, that's where the devil's at. Which pretty much is, but I didn't know if because he overcame himself and he was able to pass through, it almost feels like the house itself is some kind of weird test. But having the end be with 10 is, who knows, you know, even the guiding light that leads him out, I didn't know if it was supposed to be something like Elysian Fields, kind of like heavenly type stuff, or if the story continues there, you know, or if it's trying to throw you off with potentially being the 9 layers of hell, and now this is like a new, like it's like you're not even actually done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is such a great ending. Like, I love the idea of, like, you get the arbitrary $500 because it's so funny. It's like, dude, $500 if you want to, like, have an existential panic attack and, you know, face the devil. It's like, sweet, a $500 Chili's gift card.
I suspect that his friend never made it through, and that the management, so to speak, or the house, whatever you want to call it, was kind of acting through him to send that message. Because there's no way his friend made it through and was like, bro, you got to see this, you know?
Yeah, no. And that was another thing, too, I was going to ask if you, what your interpretation of who the management is. Is that entities? Do you think that's, like, something that is paranormal? Like, paranormal in the sense of, like, oh, management is something that is like some kind of counselor or something on the other side.
I kind of see it as the way you see a lot of SCPs, right? As like it's a thing that doesn't make sense to our knowledge of existence, but it also kind of just operates under its own rules, right? So maybe it's like sure, you call it the entity within the house, the thing that runs it. Management could be one thing. There could be several things that do it, right? I definitely don't think it human, but it is thinking, for sure.
Well, it's just interesting. I was curious what you have to think with this. Is as soon as this ended, my immediate reaction to it was, I feel like this was probably heavily inspirational to left-right game. Of the amount of, like, back and forth you go to, where it almost becomes like a self-introspective piece towards the end as well. And then even like this management thing feels similar to the deity at the end, even though I know that in the left right game it's our character from like millions of years in the future or whatever coming back. But still, I was like, there's like a lot of, I just see a lot of bits and pieces of like going through and having all these like small vignettes, and it is like you're kind of keep traversing, like instead of going left and right, it's these doors, right?
Yeah.
Of, and the other thing, it's like taking left, right, or experiencing these new towns and stuff. It just had the same kind of, it was the same kind of flair. You know what I mean? I thought it was really fun.
Why did I come
but to
up
have this
here?
thing be so old in 2011 in internet years is crazy. So I'm curious to see if this did have some kind of influence on the left right game kind of genre of like maybe adventure, horror adventure or something.
I don't know, it could be. It does kind of fit, you know, there's creepypasta culture, and then you have stuff about these different, I really like horror stuff where it feels like you're almost in different levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could see it. What this really reminds me of, I mean, kind of the obvious one is House of Leaves, you know?
I have no idea. Never read it. I haven't read any of these, so I have no idea. My only experience is through the stuff we've read.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess never mind. I guess no conversation.
Yeah. I guess we're done talking. No, House of Leaves isn't a creepypasta. It's a novel that came out in the 90s or like 99, something like that. That was the original. You know, like liminal horror became a trend, but I would call it the original liminal horror. It's about a family who discovers an extra door in their house. Well, what starts it all is that the house, for some reason, is a 1/4 inch bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And that begins to drive the dad insane, and he starts to figure out why, and it leads down this whole rabbit hole. Incredible book. One of the best horror books ever written, in my opinion. But it came out before it was common to be like, you have a structure that's bigger on the inside than the outside, and it has all these like looping geometry and stuff like that. But this reminds me of that a lot, in that you open a room 5 and you're suddenly in the forest in the middle of a house, stuff like that. The humming's interesting. I almost feel like that in a way the house contains something, you know, that the humming represents. Or maybe it's the entity of the house itself. And for something in me wants to feel that it's different from management, right? Like management is maybe the arbiters of everything that happens, and the humming is either like the house itself's energy or something else that's loose in the house, you know?
I would say it's still got to be something that's under their watch, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're orchestrating this.
Management's over it, for sure.
Sure, yeah. I don't know, that's interesting. I'd be curious to see how other people kind of like decipher that as well. Because it is weird. That is like one loose end. I will say, dare I say, that was probably, I think that last little blurb, I think that's one of the most solid endings we've read in terms of like how it's wrapped. I think it leaves you on a nice note. It's kind of like it's like, to me, it has that same feel as like Ted the Caver.
Yeah.
Even in a nice spot where it's like it's not really over, but it's like it's just let your imaginary run wild with it.
I think wording wise, it even works better than Ted the Caver, because Ted the Caver's kind of like bye for now, but that last line of like when I see the 10 etched on the door, boom, you know.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's just a very nice little like, oh shit, the game's still going. And I think that like the thing too is, you know, sometimes it's not about experiencing the game forever, but it's just knowing like what the game is and then letting your mind run off without being fed everything.
You could imagine what room 10 would be, or the things that come after, or stuff like that, you know. Because as far as the prize goes, he did get through the house, but the house wants to keep going, so to speak, right? And I think your reference to Dante's Inferno makes a lot of sense, you know.
I think just having it specifically be 9 feels a bit too serendipitous to have it not be correlated in some way.
Like, there's been other stuff that has ended well we've covered. Like, I like the ending of the Pen Pal, you know, stuff like that. But they all have a finality to it that I feel horror doesn't always need. And I just like the simplicity of there's a 10 on the door. That's fine.
It's another instant where it's the famous Hitchcock thing where it's the camera pans down, 2 men are eating at a table, the camera pans down, there's a bomb under the table. It's another way of just building horror or building anticipation in a moment, and like ending on the anticipation. I think it's just really fun because we've already experienced 9 other doors. You don't have to have it spelled out to you what's in 10. You can let your imagination do that, and just to know that like, oh fuck, it's not over. It's just a fun little like, and we're done kind of ending to the story. So no, this was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? It's one of the quicker ones we've covered. But I think it's really sweet. I think too, this makes me want to go back and read some of the other classics like you were talking about. And if they are short like this, or I am assuming that some of these are even shorter, we can definitely do like a big batch of them.
Oh yeah, there's some that are like a few like, you know, a dozen paragraphs, maybe something like that. So
yeah, like barely, like maybe 2 pages or something. So
yeah.
No, I think it's great. I mean, I think this is really cool. I'm very curious to hear what people have to say about this one. I think also, as just an insake for this one too, I know we said Ben Drown, Normal Corn for Normal People, and Tomino's Hell. Those were some of the ones we talked about, but if there is any other shorter ones too, be sure to leave some comments down below, and I'll try to make like a little grab bag going and just kind of pick randomly which ones.
I guess I took for granted, I was like, oh, well, I'm sure Hunter knows the classics, right? But since you don't, apparently, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I remember that I think would be interesting to work off of. I wonder, that Tomino's Hell, if I remember right, it's kind of more of an urban legend of like, it's like if you look at this image, things start happening to you. I don't know if it works well as a narrative, but we could also do an episode where we just cover like urban legend stuff like that, right? Because there's a lot that aren't explicit stories. It's just like there is kind of lore around this one piece of media or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a snack real quick. I'll be right back.
We're definitely going to be experiencing some other stuff that's outside of the creepypasta realm. Kind of maybe go back to the Twitter. Maybe go back to the Twitter ARG thing, or keep kind of playing around, because that was a lot of fun too. And while, you know, it's hard, especially with some of these episodes, we know that our audio listeners too, we can't just do stuff that has tons of visuals, because then it's just, you know, audio listeners are going to be totally blue-balled the whole time. But I do think on the channel we're going to try to do some more subsidiary content that just we can dive into more video stuff or be able to talk about other stuff while our main episodes here keep flowing through. So
yeah, I think it'd be fun to do some stuff like keep Creepcast to just like, you know, vocal stories, and stuff. And then I'm not saying videos don't have a place on the YouTube channel, at least, right?
I mean, dude, I think definitely. I think especially, I don't think they have to be some long-winded, you know, as long as these podcast episodes. But I do think like we have a lot of fun talking about horror stuff, and so much of horror is visual storytelling as well. So we'd like to, at least me personally, I'd like to talk about some of this stuff and have that same kind of discussion, even if it doesn't go up on like audio platforms based stuff.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely.
Cool. Well, cool. Well, this has been another episode of Creepcast. We appreciate you. Once again, if you've been listening to this on audio, please be sure to leave us a nice ranking, or to give it a nice rate it up, and I hope you all stay scared, you creeps. Huh?
Okay, that's okay.
So I didn't know what I wanted, so I got graham crackers.
Thank you all for
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Honey pretzels. Flamin' Hot Lime Cheetos. Pick up the crunchy ones. And then Cheetos Simply Naked. I kind of just want to test one of these out. Oh, smells like some mac and cheese in there. They still leave a residue on your finger though, even though there's no dye. That is yummy. However, since I'm playing with my controller, not the best.
Welcome back to Creepcast! We are doing another story in person. This one's called Growing Up, My Dad and I Always Went Camping. One year, we brought the rest of the family.
Do you like camping, Hunter?
No.
Really?
Not really. I don't know. I did it a lot when I was a kid, but
I love camping.
it's okay. I mean, like, if I'm there with, like, friends and stuff, it's fine. But I'm not gonna lie, like, sleeping on the ground in a sleeping bag, not fun. Like, I mean, especially at the age I'm at now, no, not very fun. But also don't want to be somebody that has like an RV camper guy. That's just not also the camping I want to do. So I don't know. So I'd rather just say I'm not doing any of it.
I gotcha. Well, I like camping, and I'm trying to get Hunter to go camping for an episode.
I told you I would go.
Told me would go, but here we are not camping. So I'm reading this story now. We're reading this story now to try to convince him that it'd be fun to camp. So if you want Hunter to go camping
Literally
with
no
me,
need for.
if you want Hunter to go camping with me, why don't you let us know in the comments?
Pretty sure I suggested it before you ever said a single thing about it.
But you mentioned it kind of as a joke, and here we are still not camping. So now we're reading a story that was designated for camping in a studio.
I took you camping inside a haunted house.
That is not true.
No.
We didn't even sleep there. I took you camping inside of a house.
DoorDash Taco Bell inside of a haunted house. That counts as camping.
Taco Bell is not camping.
That's camping. If I went camping, I would DoorDash Taco Bell to my campsite.
You know, if we go camping at my house, like the woodland and stuff, we could DoorDash to the campsite.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. If I go to your house, I'm watching you ride that bike. Editor, put the.
Dang it.
Do you know how many times? Is there any scars on it?
Yeah, it's still scarred up a little bit. It's pretty. It's not that bad. I still get some nerve pain when I push in on it.
Nerve pain, he says.
All that. It's pretty good. It should.
Oh, it's really good.
Palm scars.
Compared to what it was first, that was, yeah.
Palm scars typically go away, but when I do that, my fingertips feel fuzzy. So.
Make me feel fuzzy. I black out and I speak a different language.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have you read anything from this? Shadow Swimmer 77?
No. So this is from Shadow Swimmer 77. This was posted 3 years ago to r/snowsleep. and it currently sits at 65 upvotes. But whenever we were talking about camping topics, Harry found this one and said it looked pretty good. The comments seemed to like it and stuff like that. So perhaps it's a hidden gem of a woodland.
Not all of them
story.
can have thousands and thousands of upvotes.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
There's got to be some diamonds in the rough, right? Some people that some unseen gems.
Yes.
Uh-oh, new title sequence. Unseen gems. Unseen gem. Unseen gem.
All right. So with it, so can we since I made this story for we got this story for camping, can we pretend like we're camping?
I always pretend I'm camping. I'm always pretending I'm camping with you.
What do you mean by that?
There's always such a fire between us, man.
It's really sweet, thank you. Hey Hunter, can you pass the marshmallows, buddy?
They're in my butthole.
Alright. I don't want to play pretend anymore. I don't want
dig
to
them out.
I don't want to pretend anymore. Okay, go.
Gotta treat it like a little scratch and sniff down there.
Alright, so you're gonna do the whole thank you audio listeners. Thank you for
Have you ever seen a lot of those videos of people like popping zits and shit and cleaning earwax?
to audio listeners, appreciate you guys for giving this good rating. Spotify.
If I legitimately told you this is an actual question, if I told you that there was something stuck up there,
No.
would you?
No.
Well, just listen.
No.
Listen, just
No.
listen to it all. If I told you, I said, Isaiah, I have 4 or 5, maybe 6 of those large marshmallows packed away in my butthole, would you take one of those earwax cams? And I was like, that's the only thing I can get it out. Would you fish it out?
I just gave you my answer. You figured out how to get them in there, you can get them out.
It's too deep.
I don't know when you say it, gosh. That's gotta be like, I'm not indulging this. Just say thank you to the people for watching this stuff.
Thank you, audio listeners. If you're listening on any of the audio platforms, please give us a good rating. It does help us out. And also to our beautiful patrons, we appreciate you. And thank you for supporting the channel. If you want to consider supporting the channel, hey, maybe sign up. Also, there will be that cam footage for extra content on the Patreon.
Yep. Also, merch.
Would you do that for Patreon content?
No. Merch. Merch is available now. We got the frog shirt, we got the small dog shirt, and we have the...
Go ahead and give him one more time. Stand up and give it to him one more time. All right, so before I had you pop it and lock it and do the thing, right? This time, bend over. Bend over frontwards. And act like you're peeking in something. Give me one of these. Is it in there? Do that. Bend over and point like this. Is it in there? At that camera. Come on. Come on. Just once. Once.
I know exactly what you're doing with it. And I'm not looking for marshmallows.
Stay puff.
Alright. That's it. We can get to this. Now we don't have to keep the announcements.
All right, growing up, my dad and I went camping. One year, we brought the whole rest of the fucking family.
Link in the description. Support the artist. Let's begin. Dilapidated wooden building whose sign proclaimed it as the home to Allegheny Adventures. Its red paint, weathered and peeling, looked more abandoned than closed. The van parked next to the building was equally devoid of habitants, though there were 3 canoes loaded onto its attached trailer.
The hell is everyone?
Dad wondered to himself, hands tapping the steering wheel annoyedly. The SUV idled quietly on the dirt road that terminated at a gravel lot adjacent to the building. The car windows were down, letting in the comfortable warmth of a mid-August afternoon.
What's going on, Dale?
John called the dad from the Jeep behind us, his head sticking out the window. Through the windshield, I could see my older sister, Tara, asleep next to him, her foot braced against the dashboard, where she was riding shotgun, but couldn't spy her friend Amanda in the backseat.
Don't know, babe. Looks like the deadheads forgot we were coming.
Seriously? Sean's voice carried a put-upon tone.
You said this is going to be fun.
Dad rolled his eyes.
I'll take care of it.
He turned to me as he opened the door and stepped out.
State your call. Keep it on your brother. He's not my brother.
Mumbled quietly under my breath as he slammed the door.
What the fuck was that? Did you say to me?
Don't get close to me.
What was that? What'd you say, Bob?
sunglasses and back in the window.
Nothing. That's what I thought.
Dad said with an arched eyebrow, "Stay here." Hitched up his shorts and started walking to the building.
He's in raised eyebrow, right?
Millennial smirk.
Stay here. Was my line? I'm bored.
Dennis whined from the seat behind me.
Oh, Dennis.
I told him, still looking at Dad as he climbed the 3 rickety steps and banged on the screen door at the top.
That's no way to talk to your brother, Polly Wally.
Turned back to him.
Just because our dads are married doesn't mean you... Sorry, gay dads, okay. I saw the Sean thing and I was like, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, what's funny is I read Sean and immediately was like, oh, yeah, they're both married.
You didn't register. Okay. Just because our dads are married doesn't make you my brother, you little scab.
Stuck his tongue out at me, but my glare was enough to make him turn back to his video game magazine with a grumble. I turned my attention to the building where Dad had switched tactics and was trying the door. It swung open as he pulled and he called back to us.
Be right back.
Before stepping inside, the screen banging noisily behind him. I checked my watch and saw it was just a little past 2. Sean got out of the Jeep, pushing his designer sunglasses up his nose and stretching exaggeratedly. For a moment, everything was serenely quiet. The only noises, the low rumble of car engines, the slight whisper of a breeze.
Hey, Dale! Is everything okay in there?
Sean shouted towards the door. Dad disappeared through. There was no answer, and the silence extended for several long heartbeats.
I'm gonna need 5 hot dogs later.
You have to cut that. You have to. Yeah, pride. In a good way. I'm so glad you can do that. I'm so glad it gets done. I'm so glad they can do that and they can talk.
I can't wait to make him later.
I'm so glad they can do that together as 2 consenting adults.
Patreon cut.
Yeah, no cuts. Every cut. Got a little too woke there. Hashtag Patreon. Got a little too progressive.
I'm really curious how the editor's going to cut around that.
Depends which one we give it to.
Gotta get to the Irishman, right? Why the fuck would you have me? Why the fuck would you have me out of that?
If Nick gets this, he's sending it to CNN. Abruptly, the screen door practically
What's so funny?
It's the dad kicking the door, and then your line of "I can't wait to
eat hot dogs."
Patreon got.
What are you talking about?
Abruptly, the screen door practically exploded outward, slamming against the side of the building and eliciting a shriek of surprise from Sean. A haggard-looking man wearing a scraggly beard and a brilliant-colored tie-dye t-shirt emerged, stumbling down the steps. He barely caught himself from face-planting in the dirt before his iron spin to me. I got the giggles, and he get him out.
What's so funny, man?
He barely caught himself from face planting in the dirt before spinning in place back toward the building, his balance wavering. Concerned, I opened the door and got out, but didn't know what else to do. Looking back, I saw Tara was awake and she and Amanda had gotten out of the Jeep, their mouths both twisted in frowns. Dennis had dropped his magazine, his jaw open in dull shock. My dad exited the building after the man, look of confused bemusement upon his face.
No way! No how! I ain't talking to you, dude.
The man I recognized was Jerry Conroe, the owner of Allegheny Adventures. Shouted out my dad, jabbing his finger towards him violently.
Jerry!
Dad spread his hand. You can't give that voice to a game.
The man yelling.
Oh, I thought you were like doing like a feminine voice all of a sudden. I thought you were giving the dad a feminine voice. Patreon cut. Patreon cut. That's why I thought you don't whoa me like that would be.
I like it. We're having a good time and stuff, but I don't
Okay, all right, whatever. Patreon cut. Go.
I said the line.
Say the line. Say it again.
Jerry.
You bastard.
Jerry!
Dad spread his hands in a placating gesture.
What are you talking about? Paul and I have been coming here for years. We paid in advance months ago. Nuh-uh, man.
Jerry shook his head vehemently.
Not a chance. You know we ain't getting any rain this summer. Rivers Lake's been like 80 years. Turns out that ain't a good thing. I looked online just yesterday. Everything says water's deep enough for canoes. Just not some of the bigger stuff. We shouldn't have a problem. I ain't talking about the fucking canoes, man.
Jerry screamed, spit flying everywhere. Dad wiped away a few flecks that landed on his beard.
Gross. Look, Jerry, I think you're a little too stoned to be talking business. Where's Cheryl? Cheryl's...
Jerry drifted off and collapsed to his knees, sobbing.
Is that good for Jerry? Okay. Gone, man! Cheryl's gone!
He managed to get out.
Dale?
Sean had walked up near our car, eyes wide with concern. Dad held his hand up, warding Sean back. He knelt down next to Jerry, speaking quietly near the crying man's ear. Jerry kept sobbing, but after a minute or two started nodding his head, wiping the back of his hand across his eyes. Dad stood and clapped him on the shoulder and helped him to his feet.
We'll get the trailer loaded with our gear. Get sobered up, and we'll let you know when we're ready to go. Fucking cry, baby. That's an ad-lib.
Thank you. Jerry
Dude,
continued.
hey, Cheryl was a bitch. That's a good thing, Jerry. Hey. That's a massage on the shoulders. You're gonna make it through it. You're gonna make it through this winter. You hear me, Jerry? You can do better than Cheryl. You're tight. Not tension. Stress. Ooh, stress. That was... you don't like that? Was that good? I thought that was okay. Was that all right?
I like all the emoting, yeah. It's making it very, yeah.
Damn. You gotta start stretching. I'm trying to tell you the other day.
Then you gotta start stretching.
He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, my back is way stiff. You gotta start stretching. I do stretch all the time, so I'm like, what else? What other stretching do we have to do? So. Are you alive? Hello? Hi?
What have I been?
Wake up!
Down. Jerry continued to knock before stumbling back up the steps and back into the building. Screen again, slamming noisily behind him.
Paul?
Dad looked at me.
Sean and I parked the cars. Could you take Dennis and the girls to the shed and help them get the life jackets and the paddles? Sure, Dad.
Turned back to Dennis.
Let's go, puke stain. Hey, first warning. Is that normal?
I heard Sean ask Dad as I walked behind the building towards the equipment shed.
I almost feel like you should be this dad. You're a new dad.
Do you want me to be Dad?
Well, I'm just saying, are any of these ad-libs? Like, if you heard your son say this about your daughter. Let's go, puke stain. Hey! Hey!
Watch it. Watch it. None of that. Yeah, definitely.
Would you do this? Watch it!
That's your sister. That kind of thing, yeah.
It's your sister.
Did you like that, Aaron? That's your sister. Yeah. It's just a statement of
That's your
fact.
sister!
Yeah, yeah.
Would you raise...
I would have raised my voice.
Would you raise the voice?
I would raise my voice if they like hurt each other.
How, like how?
Like if I had a son who like pushed his sister over or something, I'd be like, hey!
That's you raising your voice?
I've only ever screamed a few times.
I don't think I've ever heard you actually get emotive.
No, I have. There's been a few times.
How about this? Your son has a paddle. He fucking bops her one right in the face. What do?
You guys me be like, hey, put that down.
You would grab everything, scold him.
I would take the paddle out of their hand if they didn't drop it. Yeah.
Give me that. You do that? Give me that. Bryce Michael, look at me.
Her name is Bryce Michael.
You know
See,
what?
that took me out
Hey,
of,
we're a unit.
It took me out of
Hold his face like that. I love you, but you have a lot of demons in that head, boy.
I don't think I'd tell my kid that he has demons in his head. I feel like that's a bad start.
You all right? Cause you're acting funny. I actually kind of like that a lot.
No, that was pretty good.
I kind of like holding. You all right in the head, boy? Cause you ain't acting right. You hear me? There must be a crack on here. Good Lord, you're defective. We're sending you back. How about that one?
We're sending him. Just make your child paranoid you can abandon them at some point.
I hope you realize that we're leaving tonight and you're not coming with. Come on. Grab her hand.
Editor, can you censor him saying my child's
Oh,
name?
sorry. You said it out. You've said your name.
I haven't.
You haven't said your daughter's name yet?
Nope.
What?
We've said it's a girl. We haven't said the name.
You said it earlier today.
On video?
Uh-oh. We'll make a general note that if you said it, we'll bleep it.
Oh, okay. My bad. If I did, my bad. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, you did. Sorry, I thought you said it out.
No, you're good. I think it's funnier when you keep inferring information out loud unannounced. I think that's good.
Support for today's episode comes from Square, the business platform that helps sellers become neighborhood favorites. Whether you're gearing up for the busy season or just trying to keep up with everyday demand, Square keeps your business running smoothly. From payments to online orders, inventory, and staffing, it's all in one place so you can focus on your customers, not your to-do list. This year, I have gone to a few conventions and I always bring my Square with me. It makes everything simple and streamlined, letting me focus on interacting with the fans and getting the product in their hands. We have a Square reader on a phone and a dock at the booth, and it makes checking people's out fast and easy. Plus, with Square, you get the real-time reports on what you're selling to easily track growth and identify when you need to restock on fan favorites. Square helps you run your business more smoothly, bringing payments, operations, and insights together in one place, so you're ready for whatever's next. Right now, listeners can get $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com, square.com/go/creepcast. Again, that's square.com/go/creepcast. Get started with Square and build a setup that works the way you do.
I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Lola Blankets. Because Lola Blankets is the world's #1 blanket, crafted with ultra soft, luxury faux fur. It's stylish, machine washable, and built to last for years. And it's the go-to gift for any occasion. I can tell you from experience that the Lola blanket is an upgrade to any house. The blankets themselves are warm and cozy, and it makes a fashionable choice to any couch or ottoman that it's laid over. And Lola blankets come in a range of sizes. I personally am a big fan of the large one because for once, me and my wife can share a blanket without fighting over it for the entire time we're on the couch. And you can do what I did and get their weighted blanket, which makes any time under a Lola even more cozy. You can even get their matching pillows that are just as stylish and comfortable. They also do special drops with companies like Pezza, and Rachel Parcell. And I can just say from personal experience, this has become our favorite blanket in the house. Like I said, it's big enough that we can both share it, it's weighted so it's cozy, and the fact that it's machine washable is a big deal. I mean, we have dogs and a child, so naturally messes happen, but being able to take this thing as large as it is and just throw it in the wash and be done with it is a huge help. Lola Blankets has over 20,000 five-star reviews, and it makes sense as it's the gift that people keep on raving about. And for a limited time, our listeners can get 40% off select Lola Blankets products when they use discount code CREEPCAST at checkout. That's right. 40% off. Again, just head to the link in the description at lolablankets.com and use code CREEPCAST to get in on their incredible offer today. And after you check out, if you could let them know we sent you, it would really mean a lot. Again, thank you to Lola Blankets for sponsoring the show. The link will be in the description, and we are now back to the episode.
Is that normal?
I heard Sean ask Dad as I walked behind the building towards the equipment shed.
Nah. Jerry's just a little more baked than usual. I think his wife left him. Can't imagine why.
That's the guy that you and Dad have always talked about.
Tara Haas catching up to me as we reached the shed.
I thought you said he was cool.
He is. His wife is too. I mean, they always have been. Anyways.
Tried as I pulled open the door.
I guess that's why Dad told us to not do drugs. You're such a square, Paul.
Amanda ruffled my hair as she walked behind Tara into the shed, perusing the equipment.
I bet he could get us some really good shit now.
She turned back to me with a malicious grin.
Think you'd help me find a life jacket that will fit over my girls?
I don't like that. I don't like that phrasing around that. Maybe don't. This is like a teenager. Maybe don't call them your girls.
I'm just reading what's on the paper.
Yeah, I know. I'm not scolding you for the language.
Well, you're looking at me.
Okay, what do you want? Harry. I don't think they should call him.
That's better.
She arched her back, causing her chest to stick out provocatively. Tara rolled her eyes and gently shoved Amanda.
You're ridiculous. Don't tease him.
I don't like the energy being created right now. She turned to me, seeing my eyes practically bugging out of their sockets.
And you're a pig.
Hey! Ooh, Polly's got a girlfriend.
Isn't Dennis like 8?
Yeah.
Oh, is he? I thought that was the dad's name. Oh, wait, what's the dad?
Did it?
Oh.
Yeah. It's the dads are Dale and Sean.
Dale.
Dale, yeah. Dennis is the younger brother.
Ooh, Polly's got a girlfriend.
Dennis crooned from the doorway.
Shut up, Dennis.
Sorry, Paul. You're cute, but you're not my type. I like men older. Now your dad, on the other hand, if he weren't gay. Oh my God!
Tara shrieked. Grabbing a life jacket and paddle at random and storming back out of the equipment shed.
I can't believe I invited you on this trip. You need me, honey.
Man.
Amanda better fucking die. I just want to say,
I can't do
if
this.
she does not drown her, I'm gonna be so upset.
Amanda called after her.
Without any source of estrogen on this trip, you'll die.
I hear it's a war crime making him read these lines. It's wrong.
This is how we close the day.
She chuckled, turning back to me.
Seriously though, can you help me find a good life jacket, bitch?
No.
Adlib that one. That fits the character. That fit the character. Sure. Dennis, grab a small. I'll get you sized in a second.
Told my stepbrother, pulling on my own jacket with practice motions before handing Amanda a medium.
Here, try this one.
Amanda tapped her lip with her finger thoughtfully as I adjusted the various straps.
How'd that work anyway? I mean, Sean throws a giant blip of my gaydar, but your dad is like totally hetero seeming, and both of them are obviously and both of them obviously had kids with their previous wives.
Amanda's insufferable.
I want daddy's
cut. Patreon cut.
Patreon cut.
You're on Patreon.
That's a PC.
That's a PC. I shrugged.
I think it's just a different time. When they were our age, they felt forced to try and fit in. Sean says he finally realized he couldn't repress who he was anymore, and that's why he ended his first marriage. My mom left my dad, Tara, and when she found her soulmate in her weekly Bible study. Dude, that sucks. No wonder Tara never told me. How'd Sean and your dad meet? Community theater. They played Jean Valjean and Jean Valjean and Javert opposite each other in Les Mis. The rest is history. That is so cute. And your dad does theater? Musical theater? God, he'd be so my type.
It was almost 4 by the time we got the gear on the trailer. Had Jerry, still likely stoned but considerably less upset, drive us 25 miles north to the river entry point, unloaded, got the canoes ready to launch.
Okay, Jerry.
My dad stroked his beard.
You get back home safe and we'll see you in a couple days, yeah?
Jerry mumbled something under his breath but nodded agreeably and waved before slamming the van door closed and driving away.
You two the most interesting people.
I went to get in the canoe my dad was standing next to, but he put a hand on my shoulder.
Now, hold on a second, Paul. I think you and Dennis should share a canoe. What, Dad? No, come on, think about it. You're the most experienced one here besides me.
He lowered his voice conspiratorially.
Sean's not much of an outdoorsman, but I think he'll do okay with Amanda. Well, why can't Dennis go with you? And I get Tara then. Big senior too cool for little brother? No, come on, Paul. He's too light compared to me. You know it's important to keep the canoes at least somewhat balanced. Besides, he looks up to you. Dad, I don't... Paul,
Dad interrupted my protest and crossed his arms. I could tell an argument wasn't going to end my way.
Fine. But remember, it's your fault if the little idiot won't listen to me and tips the canoe. Good man.
Dad slapped my back and turned his attention to the rapidly darkening sky.
Now, we better get a move on. Despite what Jerry said about not having any rain this summer, I think we're about to get some. Let's just go to the first island down to pitch camp for the night. It'll ease the others in. And with good luck, we'll get the tents up before the weather hits.
We had any luck? Wasn't good.
I'm having fun. Well, I'm getting to read a lot this time, so I'm having a good time. I like this dynamic, this river adventure about ready to go on.
Yeah, they're all like going out, and it's like two joined families, and then Amanda there who's being like your stereotypical like horror movie, girl type character. So it's a fun little thing. You ever been canoeing? I like canoeing a lot. Was it fun? We had any luck? Wasn't good. The issue struck. What?
What? I looked over.
He was staring at me. When I look up, it's like he was looking at you all for a reaction to something I did.
I just looked up. I was like that. And in the darkness, I just see.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, you got me.
Alright, red-handed.
The issue started almost immediately. Dennis was not only too weak to really help paddling from his seat in front of the canoe, but the little shit actively worked against me. He dipped his paddle in the water, forcing me to constantly change the side I was rowing on, and at one point even back paddled, snickering at his cleverness. For a long, if I was canoeing with somebody that did that, I would just slam them on the back of their head. If I was canoeing and there was a kid up front like pushing backwards to be annoying, just bonk.
Bit dangerous, but
he did just
find your spot back long day. That's what he said. Yeah.
Before long, we were far behind the other two canoes. I cast what I hope was an "I told you so" look in Dad's direction. But even from as far away as I was, I could tell he and Tara were laughingly engaged in conversation he didn't notice.
Stop it, you little fart muncher! Editor, cut this out.
Yeah, that's busy.
Yeah, there's a lot of this we will 1,000,000% to cover. We'll have to be very careful.
Yes, but I want to see it. I need to see it. At last, Dennis, tired of being annoying, and simply leaned back on the gear we had piled in the middle of the canoe, pretending to go to sleep. Without having to compensate for his sabotage, I was at least able to get us going in something resembling a straight line. Though with just me rowing, there was no hope we would be able to catch the others before they got to the campsite. The island in the middle of the river that Dad had chosen was only about 1.5 miles down from the launch point. But even that took us the better part of over an hour to investigate. The rain started to fall about 1/2 mile out, slight drizzle at first, but gradually increasing. I could see ahead where the other two canoes had made the bank of the island. Dennis sat up with a shriek of surprise. As the rain picked up, he actually started helping me row. Even with both of us paddling in unison, by the time Dennis and I finally reached the campsite and managed to pull our canoe out of the water, we were fully soaked through. Coming into a clearing we had used in past years, Dad was in the process of staking the weatherfly down on a small 2-person tent, while Sean sat hopelessly in the middle of a pile of poles and tarps. The girls were nowhere to be seen, so I could only surmise they were in the tent Dad was working on. He paused as he saw us stumble up.
Paul, I'm gonna finish getting the girls settled. Then I'll help Sean with our tent. Why don't you and Dennis unload the gear from your canoe and stack it under that tree over there with the rest of it? Then take the hatchet and hacksaw and try to find some wood so we can get a fire going. And this?
I raised my hands to indicate falling rain. A distant rumble of thunder helping illustrate my point.
It'll all be soaked.
Dad threw me a grin.
Don't worry, kiddo. I packed some dry tinder. Once we get it started, the wood will burn. I'll just be a little smokier than usual.
I grumbled, but moved towards the canoe and started pulling out bags and coolers, shuttling them to the tree with the other equipment and supplies. To my surprise, Dennis helped without even a snarky comment. By the time we got the gear unloaded, Dad and Sean had the second tent about halfway up. I walked towards them, catching one hand and a waterproof flashlight in the other.
We're all set. How come you didn't have the girls go get word while you were waiting for us?
Dad laughed.
Didn't trust them to find the right kind. Also, come on. Will the key prove that the chivalry isn't dead?
I shook my head and sighed.
Come on, Dennis.
From previous days on the island, I knew it wasn't huge. Maybe a 10-minute walk from end to end. Each year, there were usually one or two decent-sized trees that had fallen over, so I was fairly confident we'd be able to find some deadwood, though I was still skeptical how well it would burn with all the rainwater soaking through it. I just knew that sometimes there was no point in arguing with Dad. Despite the extended daylight hours of summer, clouds caused night to fall prematurely. I was glad I thought to bring the flashlight. Otherwise, it would have been way too easy to trip and fall face first into a mud puddle. I placed the beam on the ground in front of me, carefully choosing my steps, periodically pausing to shine the light off to the sides, looking for fallen logs. Dennis followed me, head down and grumbling, swinging the hacksaw he was carrying, letting it hit against the tall grass and various plant life that lined the narrow animal trail I had us walking on. Finally, after maybe 10 minutes of searching, I found something promising. A tree had fallen, and the way it rested against one of its still standing neighbors seemed like it may have even gotten a little bit of top cover from the rain. I handed the flashlight to Dennis.
Here, hold the light for me. I'm going to use the hatchet to try and get some of the small stuff cleared off, and then I'll swap you for the saw. Why can't I saw?
I looked up at the still falling rain.
Because I can do it faster, and I'd like to get out of this crap and into dry clothes as soon as I can. Wouldn't you?
Dennis mumbled something under his breath, but grunted and shined the light on the fallen tree as I'd asked. I started to clean off the smaller twigs, working by the light. Dennis started hopping from foot to foot to try and stay warm, causing the beam to sway, but I managed to bite my tongue and not say anything. I'd switched to the hacksaw, cutting off and stacking some good-looking, inch-thick branches, when a keening wail carried high over the falling rain, sounding from somewhere not very far down the river. Dennis snapped the flashlight beam around wildly.
Paul? What was that?
Paused for a moment, listening, and heard an answering call echo. This one from farther up the river in the opposite direction. Its solitary weirdness sent a shiver down my spine that had nothing to do with the temperature that had drooped fiercely with the storm. The hairs on the back of my neck stood at full attention.
I don't know. Maybe some kind of bird or frog or something. In this rain?
Dennis's voice hissed, incredulous. I shook my head, shrugging off the fear.
Doesn't matter. It's not here. Let's get this finished up and get back to the tents.
I got back to work. To his credit, Dennis held his light steady. I think this is cool. I like the monsters by the river thing. There was one time we were staying on an island on the lake, very similar, and we were sitting around the campfire at night. And I heard there's a bunch of like bird calls you'll hear at night, Tennessee, like whippoorwills and stuff like that. The whippoorwills like. That. Yeah. That's why I call it whippoorwill. Sounds like it's going whippoorwill, whippoorwill. But there was, or maybe not be where they're called. That's what everyone says. But there was one bird that. I thought it was a bird we heard on the other side of the island. It wasn't a big island at all. You could walk fully across the side of it in like a few minutes. But it sounded like something going like, hop, hop, hop. And I'm just like, oh, it's like a big crane or something. But then it started to change its like tonation a little bit and became like, hey, hey, hey. And it would always be in threes every time. And you could kind of hear it moving along the other bank. And at one point it got to being like, hip, 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 and it almost sounded like it was saying words. I remember my dad being like, sounds like it's saying something. What's it sound like? And then the next time it went, plain as day, went, help, help, help. That freaked me out. I was like, it sounds like it's saying help. My dad's like, no, I don't think so. Then right after that, help, help, help. And then after that, just disappeared. Completely moved. It had been going for like half an hour and then just totally stopped. And the next day, I walked over there with my friend to like go walk around, like get firewood, playing around. And there's this huge spot on the side of the bank where in like the sand up the shore, it looked like something had been dropped and then dragged down into the water. Like these huge skid marks, like a boat had thrown an anchor up there and just dragged it out as it backed up. You're giving me nothing to work with.
It's just spooky. How old were you?
11. What are you smiling about?
I don't know, dude. I'm fucking stupid. That is actually spooky though. Why did your dad help that guy? Or was it a bird?
Well, that's what we thought was a bird. Yeah. I mean, it was clearly an animal of some kind because it was like the threes every time. It sounded like it was doing different calls and stuff like that. But after it said help, it disappeared. I don't think it was a guy. I think it was certainly an animal.
And it was saying help?
It sounded like it was saying help. The call kept shifting until eventually it sounded like it was going help, help, help. Almost like it was trying to mimic or something. Anyway, we returned to the campsite maybe 20 minutes later, both carrying armfuls of cut branches. Tents were both now fully set up. Dad had also erected a makeshift tarp over a circle of stones he'd arranged to serve as a bonfire pit to help protect the flame from the weather. He crouched over a small pile of paper and wood scraps, carefully setting them to provide the maximum chance of the fire catching. Dennis dumped his wood next to him.
Where's my dad?
He asked, and my dad nodded toward our tent.
He's getting changed, Dennis. Why don't you go do the same? Paul, can you help me get the fire going?
He sighed internally but nodded and moved to help him as Dennis disappeared into the tent. Waited until the flap zipper closed fully and whispered to Dad, a voice low.
Did you hear those noises?
Dad nodded.
Yeah, we all did. Scared the crap out of Sean. He jumped about a mile. The girls were pretty freaked out too. They are the only ones, Dad. What the heck was that? Don't know, son. Can't say I've heard anything quite like it before. Maybe a mountain lion? A mountain lion? 2 of them? Do they live around here? Maybe. They got lost from over near Penn State. Hey, you probably don't swim very well. But all the more reason to get this fire started.
Finished arranging the starter, the tarp doing a surprisingly good job of keeping it dry, until Dad at last nodded in approval.
That should do it. Let's give it a shot. What do you think the noise says? What do you think the noise sounded like?
It says a whale, right? I bet if he thinks it's a mountain lion, probably like a screech of some kind.
Well, if they see like maybe it was a light. What was the mountain lion sound?
Yeah, it sounds like a woman screaming.
What if it was like the Tom and Jerry scream?
You hear a loud cartoon mallet hit something? Yeah. He took out like I've seen mountain lions before in the daytime, but never like heard one cry. But I've seen videos like this guy was walking around at night, and then it sounds like there is a woman being murdered.
That's kind of what coyotes.
No, not like a like a I am being killed scream. Like a super loud, booming across the woods. Yeah,
coyotes sound like children crying.
yeah,
it's very odd. Don't like it.
Yeah, they suck. Not fun. He took out a long big lighter and set the flame to the rolled newspaper in several different spots. Dinner caught quickly, wood snapping merrily, and we moved to stack the branches Dennis and I cut into a rough pyramid over the starter material. The sticks smoked considerably as they began to dry, but eventually caught just as Dad predicted. Looked over to the remaining pile.
Nice job, Paul. Those won't last very long, though. We need something bigger if we want to keep this thing through the night. I think the tree I got this from will work. I just have to cut some logs from farther down the trunk. Okay, I hate that.
Dad
I've done that.
Still falling rain. Peal of distant thunder rolling from way over the mountain, line of the river.
Any chance you could go cut a few good-sized ones before we get cleaned up? You can't come with me? I think I better stay here, just in case any of the camping newbies need anything. I'm sorry this trip is off to a rough start. You want to play race again?
I didn't have to take the
What?
No. I'll get it done fast for myself. Besides, he's already probably changed.
Dad clapped me on the shoulder.
Proud of yourself.
Yay!
Every time you talk about Dad touching it, it's like a...
Is it going good so far?
That's how it happens.
I rolled my eyes and stood, grabbing the hacksaw and flashlight from where I'd set them.
Also, I just want to say, if he's dad's like, there's probably mountain lions out there. Hey, you want to go out there in the dark?
I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's like, it's probably 2 mountain lions on either side of the river. Good thing we've got this fire going. Hey, can you go away from the fire over to the dark?
I'll leave the hatchet with you. Don't think I'll need to cut the big. Don't think I'll need to cut the big stuff.
Dad nodded in agreement.
MR Hangman
Hey.
56.
I paused, coming back to him.
I love you, Paul.
I'm just testing
Love
the
you too,
speed
Dad.
running the cardboard
We'll
so
be
I
waiting
can
here.
shape it better.
I scowled and
Much
trudged away
once it
back
dries
towards the
again.
fallen tree. I found the spot
Smart.
Dennis and I had come from without difficulty and got to work, setting the light in a way to shine on where I was cutting.
MR Hangman 56.
The rain had blessedly stopped, at least temporarily, but the
'Cause
cold
that's the
front
only
that
way I
brought
can
it
think of
caused
doing
an
the
eerie
help.
fog to begin to seep sinuously up from the undergrowth. The temperature had continued to drop, and it was only the physical activity that was keeping me from shivering. It was probably not too cold yet, maybe in the lower 50s, but the change from the upper 80s of the earlier afternoon made it feel much worse than it actually was. Something nagged me at the back of my mind as I worked on the tree, but it was several long minutes before I realized exactly what it was. Other than the rasp of the saw gliding back and forth against the tree, and the distant gurgle of the river flowing past the island shore, the night was utterly still and quiet. No birds called, no insects chirped, just dead silence. Another chill ran down my back as my mind returned to the mysterious cries from earlier, and then back farther, Jerry's strange warnings from this afternoon. Despite what I told Dennis and what Dad told me, those sounds were like nothing I've ever heard before. I got back to my work with a will, focusing on getting enough wood to last the night so that I could get out of my socking clothes and curl up in my sleeping bag until morning. I told myself that surely the light of day would ward off whatever it was that made those sounds, but a little voice at the back of my mind asked,
But what if it doesn't?
going was slower than earlier, the lower parts of the tree between 6 and 8 inches thick and taking much more effort to work through. Still, I managed to cut a good
Alright, I'm
number
gonna
of
finish
pieces, enough that I was
this
thinking
fishing
it would
spot,
take
and then
multiple
I'm
trips
going
to
to
get
bed.
back to the campsite. When I paused, my ears registered another sound from back where it came. Thinking about it, I realized that noise had been going on for several minutes now, interrupting the earlier silence I
I've never
previously
played that.
noted. But I was so
Okay,
focused on
maybe
my
I'll
work
I'll
that
do
at
one
first
more
it
since it'll
was
finish
chilling.
my quest thing.
The sound was faint but distinct. Screaming. I hesitated for just a moment, fear causing paralysis, before another cry, high-pitched and full of pain, launched me into action. The firewood forgotten, I sprinted back towards the campsite. Saw in one hand, flashlight in the other, the beam bouncing wildly in front of me as I ran.
Said.
I took a bad step and
It's
fell
more
face
spooky than
first,
fun if
sliding
you
along
played
the
it
wet
alone.
ground. The hacksaw dropping from my
And
hand,
our hanging
skittering into the
56.
undergrowth. I
That's
loved
how I
it,
play most
having managed
games.
to keep hold of the light,
Difficult
picked
below.
myself up, and continued my mad dash. I ran as fast as I could, my breath pounding in and out of my lungs. A stitch cramping along my side, but all the while my fears told me that my greatest efforts won't be enough. I burst from the brush into the clearing. The fire still burned merrily where Dad and I set it, but the rest of the campsite was in utter disarray.
Oh shit.
Tents were collapsed, the flaps violently torn open, poles snapped jaggedly, reaching like broken bones of a compound fracture. Our gear was strewn about haphazardly. The rest of my group, Dad and Sean, Dennis, Tara, and Amanda, I saw no sign, outside of a terrible, wet redness that seemed to mark and stain every piece of gear. I stood, mouth open in shock, my mind whirling as I tried to comprehend what I was seeing, but knowing the shallow pools dotting the soaking ground here and there could only be blood.
Bruh.
All of them. Just, I'm sure they're not all dead yet, but just getting massacred left and right while he was up the road a little bit.
My god.
His dad's like, oh, it's probably a mountain lion, and then 2 wendigos descended on him.
It's expensive.
Oh my god! Just dropping down from the tree. These 12-foot tall demons. Just like,
Okay, I go get some firewood.
yeah. It's like the river's like 30 feet wide. You can see the shoreline over there.
There's
and
fucking
then
gargoyles.
yeah. it's like, hey Paul.
Gargoyles!
Love you, Paul. Love you, Dad. Dad nods, and in the background you can see in a single jump from one shore to
It's
the
this
other.
big of a, it's a tiny speck, and it just
Just flying.
God, I love my gay dads.
And
then just
as he's walking behind him, you can see like limbs getting thrown up into the tree.
Getting some wood.
MR Hangman 56 said, "Oh cool, I almost have 25 watch streaks."
Yeah.
MR
Blood
Hangman
just shooting everywhere.
56
That's a lot.
God!
Streak asterisk.
Pow! Yeah, exactly. Set it down. La 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 la.
Okay. Good night. I'm going to bed.